Okay, I think that's live. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's live stream Q&A. I think I'm actually the only one here right now. Or maybe one other person. So if you have joined, welcome to the live stream. I'll be here for the next hour or so to answer any questions you might have about your Azoic setup, whether that be placeholders or Leap, even anything like MCM related if you're in the early stages of your setup. So yeah, if you are here now, please feel free to just start putting any questions in the comment section, and I'll get right to them. Although I do think I'm the only one here right now. But if you are here, please feel free to say hello. If you're just here to kind of like sit in and listen in, that's completely fine. But yeah, if you have got any questions, please do start popping them in the comments and we can get started. I think a couple more people have joined here, so welcome to today's live stream if you have just joined. My name's Imogen, I'm a member of the Access Now team, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have, anything Humix related, placeholder setup related, anything at all that you might have about your current setup, or if you've recently just joined the platform and you've got any questions, happy to answer anything at all. Okay, so we've got our first question. I'm not in here by myself. Welcome, Kernia Donata. Thank you for asking your question. So you've asked how to reapply our website if it got rejected before. So that depends if you're referring to your Azoic approval or MCM approval. So anything related to Azoic approval, you can find all the information regarding a possible re-review in your Azoic dashboard. That does not necessarily guarantee that you will be offered a re-review. It depends on what the site has been denied for and if it's like a first denial, second denial. But yeah, all the information regarding a re-review for Azoic can be found in the Azoic, in your Azoic dashboard. In particular, if you navigate to Azoic ads, that section of the dashboard, you should be able to see it there. If you're kind of referencing MCM approval, then again, all the information regarding your MCM denial will be found in your dashboard as well. And there might even be some feedback from our onboarding team as to what you can do to try and overturn that disapproval. So yeah, Kernia, sorry, it depends if you're referring to your Azoic approval or your MCM, if you want to clarify that, and what you've been denied for. As well, Kernia, if your website is being denied by MCM and you're happy to kind of share it in the chat, I'm more than happy to kind of go onto the website and have a look and see if I can offer any advice to help you get approved. That's if you're happy to kind of post your domain name in the comment section below. Welcome if you've just joined the live stream. I think a couple of people have just hopped on. My name's Imogen. I'm part of the Access Now team. Happy to answer any questions anyone might have. If anyone wants to find out a bit more information about a certain tool or certain part of the dashboard, just let me know in the comment section. Or if you're happy to just kind of sit in and listen, that's fine as well. Welcome if you've just joined the live stream. I can see a few more people joining. My name's Imogen. I'm part of the Access Now team. I'm here to answer any questions you might have. Anything placeholder related, MCM related, anything at all that you need help with or a bit of advice. I'm happy to answer anything if you just pop your questions in the comment section. If you're happy to include your domain, if it's relevant, so I can have a look into that, please do put that alongside your question. I'll be here for the next hour or so please do start popping questions in the comment section, or if you're just here to kind of sit in and listen, that's fine too. I hope you can find something valuable from it and learn a bit about something in the dashboard. Okay, so we've got another question coming from the Gagster. We'll just pop that on the screen. So, hello, my website, thegagster.com, recently got rejected. My domain was approved 2 days ago. So I would like to know if it is permanent rejection or can I reapply? So I'm just going to pull your site up now and have a quick look. Okay, so looks like the website has been denied, unfortunately. I can see that it is to do with the content of the site. So unfortunately, this website has been denied by our platform quality team. That is because the content isn't completely compliant with our policies. I can see from your dashboard, it does not look like you're being offered a re-review date here. So unfortunately, that is not going to be possible and we're not going to be able to offer the site monetization. So apologies about that. I know that might be disappointing, but yeah, best of luck with the site kind of moving forward. That doesn't necessarily mean the account is denied at all. If you have a site that does comply with our requirements, then you are more than welcome to kind of add that to your account. And just so you know, for future reference, We do have a knowledge base that kind of outlines all our policies and requirements. So I'll just pop that in the comment section for you so you can have a read through. And if you do add any new sites in the future or whatnot, you can kind of check this and make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of gaining approval. So here we go. So this is our getting started Azoic requirements knowledge base. So I've just popped that in the comments. So you can review that. And if you have any other sites you want to add, you can just make sure that you have more of a chance of getting approved with them. Hi, D&D. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you can learn something by either just sitting in here or if you've got any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments. Welcome, Gonato News. So you've said my site is working, but I'm not getting that much. And from your second comment, I presume you mean revenue. So do you want to pop your site in the comment section and I can have a look into the dashboard, into your setup, and just see if there's anything obvious as to why you're not getting any revenue yet. One thing I would say is make sure that your site has definitely been MCM approved. I think that's something that publishers do tend to overlook when they're waiting for ads to start showing and to start earning revenue. They see that the site's been approved by Azoic, but kind of miss that the site does also need to be approved by MCM. So do you want to pop your site in the comments and I can have a look? And see if there's anything configured incorrectly in the dashboard or anything on our end that needs kind of switching on. So yeah, you'll have to let me know your site, please. Hi, Aziz. So you're dialed in from the Netherlands and you're asking what is this all about? So this is our Azoic Access Now live stream Q&A session where publishers are invited to kind of join the session and ask any questions that they might have about using Azoic's Access Now program, anything about their ad setup, using Humix, which is our video tool. So yeah, it's just a live stream Q&A where you can ask any questions you might have about optimizing your website through Azoic's Access Now program. Hi, so I've got to tell you news. I need to know what your site is to be able to kind of check. If you're happy, can you just put your website domain name in the comments? And then I can look at it on my computer in the dashboard and just see if there's anything that needs configuring to help you start earning quicker, or if there's anything that's not been turned on. So yeah, I'll need you to put your website in the comments, or if you don't want to put it in the comments, you can send it to me via Facebook messages. So if you're on our Azoic Access Now Facebook page, you can just send the website over messages, on Facebook, if that's what you'd prefer. And this is our Facebook page. So God, attorneys, if you want to send your website to me over our Facebook page via the messages, you can use the link I've just sent and you can search for it. You can send me a message over there if you don't feel comfortable putting the website in the comment section. And then, yeah, I'll be happy to look into why you think you're not seeing revenue yet. So yeah, if you want to do that, more than happy to take a look. So the Gags has said, so this is in reference to your domain denial. The email I received included the text, because of this, we will need to pause ad testing while we investigate further. In the meantime, all of your users are currently seeing your original ad setup. So I'm not entirely sure why you've received that email in reference to the site being denied for content. I'm not sure if that email has come through in reference to something else, because from what I can see, I've just gone back on to double check just to make sure I was looking at the right thing. From what I can see in the dashboard, you've got the denial message, so the thanks for your interest in using Azoric's monetization features. Unfortunately, the site's not been approved at this time, and this is due to some of the more sensitive content on the site, which isn't kind of directly complying with Azoric's content requirements. So I'm not sure if that email has kind of been sent to you in reference to something else, but I think that is more unrelated to the site denial in this sense, because it has definitely been denied. You can kind of see this by navigating to your dashboard and go into the Azoric ad section, and you'll find kind of the details on the denial there. So yeah, I'm sorry about that if it's been come across quite confusing in the messaging or whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, the site has definitely been denied. And yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to overturn that. So if anyone's got any further questions, a bit of a slower one this morning, question-wise. But yeah, if anyone wants me to just go through anything in the dashboard, happy to kind of delve into some of the tools like Humix and Flickify. If anyone's not kind of started using them yet or is a bit intimidated by the idea of using them, Flickify is super easy, really great if you've never kind of saw yourself as someone who can create video content for your site. I can drop in a few knowledge-based articles to kind of help you in the initial setup. But I've used it a few times, and it couldn't be easier, to be honest. And if anyone's a bit unsure, doesn't know what I'm talking about when I'm referencing Flickify, it's one of our new video creation tools. And what it does in essence is allows you to take one of your top ranking articles on your site, and it will basically turn it into a video for you, which is really exciting. Video is a huge ranking factor in terms of SEO and UX, and it's definitely something that everyone is kind of pushing and encouraging publishers to participate in. So Flickify as a video maker uses AI to convert your written content into a professional looking video. You do have control over kind of how the video comes together in terms of you can add like music to the background. You can edit the slides to either add or remove certain written content and add in different images. And it's very simple, very straightforward. And it honestly just allows publishers who maybe don't have any experience in creating videos for their website to really kind of get involved and get started with it. So I can copy and paste this knowledge base for you if you are interested in kind of trialing that out. And kind of like once the video has been created in Flickify, it will then get moved over to your Humix dashboard, which is Humix part of the dashboard, which is our kind of like where all our video tools live. And from Humix, you can kind of choose what kind of URL or directory you want the video to be added to, and also manage kind of like the placeholder setups and the ads side of things with the video. So if anyone's interested in kind of trialing that, that's just our getting started article. And I think we've got another one which is really helpful. So just more of a step-by-step guide for actually creating the video. So I'll just pop that in there too. So Daniel's just joined the live. Hi Daniel, welcome to the live stream. So you've asked, my website appears to be approved on Google Ad Manager, but Zoic is stating that it's not approved. Because of this, I am unable to continue adding my site. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what you mean by the adding your site bit. I don't know if you mean by like monetizing it or actually adding it to your account. But if you're happy to, I kind of put the site in the comment section, Daniel. I can have a look in your dashboard and just see kind of like what you are referring to there. If you mean it's been kind of approved in Ad Manager, but it's still showing disapproved in Zoic, one thing that's really important to bear in mind is if you are seeing the site status in Ad Manager as ready, this does not mean the same as approved. When the site has been approved in Ad Manager, it will say approved. I can't remember exactly why they do use the phrase ready. It is quite misleading and confusing. And a lot of publishers do reach out saying my site is approved in Ad Manager or whatever. Why is it not approved in Zoic? But it is because the ready in Ad Manager does not mean approved. But yeah, if you want to send the site across, Daniel, I'm happy to have a look in your dashboard. And if you can just pop it in the comments if you're happy to do that, that'd be helpful. Okay, thanks, Daniel. I can see that. So let me have a quick look. Mediation rather than meditation. So, got it. So I've been approved by Zoic, which is good. Okay, so yeah, so what I'm seeing in the dashboard is we're getting ready to submit this site. It should be submitted within the next hour, and also waiting on Google review. Okay, so I can see okay, that's fine. So the resubmission was initiated in the dashboard today. So it looks like it's going to be submitted very, very soon. And in the dashboard right here, I can see waiting on Google review. So looks like we're just going to have to wait and see what the outcome of the review is, Daniel. If the domain is denied by MCM again, I think was it denied? Okay, I can't see. So yeah, if the domain is denied by MCM again, please reach out to support. So I don't know if you're in the community, but you can reach out to the community support team before you resubmit the site again, because once you resubmit the site for domain review, we are unable to see the denial reason. So we just say, if you can please hold off from resubmitting the site before we've kind of checked the denial reason. That's really helpful. But yeah, under review right now, the review can take up to 2 weeks. So really appreciate obviously that your patience there whilst we do wait for the outcome. But one thing I can say from just accessing the site now is it will most likely, it might not because Google reviews are a bit inconsistent, but there is a good chance that it is going to be denied for either navigation or low value content. And low value content isn't necessarily a direct reference on the quality of the content, but also how easy it is to kind of navigate the site from the, say, the homepage and the menu to find the content that the user is looking for. And right now you've only got kind of home and tips in your menu, which isn't great for navigation. So I think you really need to kind of work on how you can kind of categorize that. So with the tip section, if I just click into here, you've got not many articles under there as well. So we do recommend having a minimum of 6 articles kind of per category, just to ensure that you are kind of complying with what we think the Google requirements are. We don't know kind of 100% for sure what does help a site gain approval. It's still a bit blurred. But one thing I will say is you definitely need to add a link to your privacy policy to your menu. Because having a link to your privacy policy is a Google policy requirement. And then we also recommend you add a link to your About Us page and your contact page. And you can kind of see really good examples of menus that can help you get approval in this knowledge base that I'm just going to grab. So here you go, Daniel. This knowledge base is really helpful and kind of goes through the different denial reasons and kind of what you can implement on the site to help you overcome that. And if you scroll down, you can see some ideal menu examples. So I recommend you kind of work from there and work on improving the menu on the site and definitely add in your links to privacy policy and contact us page. So hope that's helpful. But if the site's denied again, Daniel, please reach out and we'll take a look. I'm just going to plug my laptop in because I think it's about to die. Okay, great. So you've had a few more people join in after our slower start this morning. Less rambling on from me, but let's have a quick look. So thank you for joining, Abid. So you've asked, I'm still trying to understand, how do I get paid via Zoics? I do understand one is via Zoic ads. Do we get paid if we 1K page views and X amount of months visits to our site? Thank you. Okay, so there's different kind of ways to answer this. So I'm just going to kind of break it down into how our payments work. So at receiving your payments, we pay, I'm just going to get the knowledge base up as well so I can send this across. So we operate on a net 30-day payment schedule and we pay in arrears. So anything that you earn on your website in January, as long as you surpass the payment threshold, which is a minimum of $20, or if you've set up your own payment threshold to be higher than that, as long as you meet your payment threshold in January, you will get paid out any revenue at the end of February. So it's always in arrears, so 1 month behind. So that's how kind of like our payment structure works. And you can, like I say, you can set your own payment threshold if you like, but it is $20 at a minimum. So you need to earn $20 to get paid out the following month. So that's kind of how that payment works. And then payments typically go out at the end of the month between the 27th and the 31st. But we do ask that you wait until the 4th to kind of, before you reach out about any payment issues. There's certain things you need to make sure you've completed before receiving payments, such as inputting your tax information. So you need to complete the tax information in your dashboard, which includes adding like a tax ID number. If you're in a country or area of the world where you do not have a tax ID number, please just input zeros and leave it at that. But if you do have one, you do definitely need to input it. So you need to input tax information and your payment choice. And we typically advise that you do this before the 14th of the month. Otherwise, there's not a guarantee that you will get paid. Okay, so that's kind of like the first section. Then the second section is you're asking, do I get paid based on a certain amount of views? And just firstly, sorry, I'll just leave what I was referencing down there. So that's our payment structure knowledge base. And then in reference to kind of like the second part of the question, you've asked, so if I got 1,000 visits tomorrow, do I get paid for that 1,000 visits, but it's kind of a bit more complex than that. So the way we kind of work is using EPMV. So EPMV stands for earnings per 1,000 visitors. And this is calculated based on how much money you earn for every 1,000 visits to your websites. So it's your total earnings divided by 1,000. There are a huge amount of factors that kind of impact EPMV and can cause your EPMV to either be higher or lower, and therefore your earnings higher or lower. So EPMV is massively dependent on the area or region where your traffic is coming from. So the US, for example, pays quite a high EPMV, whereas India is very low EPMV. So if you're getting 1,000 visits from the US and 1,000 visits from India, you will get paid differently for those two EPMV wise. There's also traffic source. So Google search traffic, sorry, my mind went blank then. Google search traffic pays a lot higher than Facebook traffic. Social media traffic in general tends to be a lot lower, whereas organic Google search traffic is a lot higher. And also device type. So mobile traffic is a much lower EPMV than desktop traffic. So I hope that makes sense. If that you need me to clarify any of that, let me know. But the answer is basically it's too broad to say how much revenue you would get for X, Y, Z amount of traffic. Or if I've just gone on about the completely wrong thing and you didn't mean any of that, let me know. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. So hi, Sylvia Lectures. Good day to you too. So you've asked, does Ezoic accept a subdomain site? So yes, you can add a subdomain. We do typically need to just have a quick check of the subdomain. So if you can reach out via whatever support outlet you use and just send the subdomain across to a member of the team, we can just have a quick check. Just make sure it meets our requirements and protects you from kind of any Google policy violations. But yeah, you can add a subdomain, and the way you do that is you can't monetize a subdomain by itself. It has to be added to whatever your main domain is on Ezoic. So I'm on the wrong thing. You just need to add the subdomain and any records related to the subdomain to your Ezoic DNS records. So this knowledge base should be helpful. So you can jump to how do I add a new subdomain on the knowledge base, and it will tell you. You just need to add the DNS records to Ezoic DNS settings. And yeah, that should be enough. But yeah, if you're having any issues with doing this, such as ads not showing on the subdomain, reach out to support and we can just make sure that the subdomain is definitely running through our proxy, because we might just need to configure something on our end. But yeah, super easy. You can just add it to your DNS records, but definitely reach out to whoever or whatever support outlet you do use at Ezoic, and a member of the team can just have a quick check of the website and just make sure that it's compliant with our policies and everything. So yeah. Or if you want to send it here, I can have a quick look for you. If you want to add the subdomain to the comments, I'm happy to have a look for you. Okay, so another question from Abi Fayaz. Hello, so you've got a few questions, so great, add them all to the comments and I'll work my way through them. Question is it important for me to have a Ezoic's WordPress plugin since I've connected to Nameserver already? So the WordPress plugin is not solely just for integration. So I can understand how that might be confusing to newer publishers because we do obviously have our WordPress integration method, but the WordPress plugin does so much more than that. So it's not something that you have to have. If you don't want to have it, that's absolutely fine. Connecting to Ezoic via name servers is the superior integration method. So definitely stick with your name server integration. But what you can do if you want, you can set up placeholders. You can use the WordPress plugin to set up placeholders for your website. So it's probably the easiest way to set up placeholders. It automatically generates placeholders for your website based on Azoic's best practices. So what you can do is you can just go into the plugin and generate placeholders, and that will create a variety of placeholder types for your website. And it's just the super quickest and easiest way to do it. And it kind of ensures that you've got one of the most optimal setups that you can. So yeah, that's what a really handy way of using the WordPress plugin. And I'll pop a knowledge base below just to give you some support if you do need it for getting that set up. You can also use our WordPress plugin for CDN management. So I'm just going to get that knowledge base as well. So you can use the plugin and Azoic's API to automatically purge pages from Azoic's CDN whenever a post or page is updated. So if you're having issues with updating content on the site and you're not initially seeing the changes that you've made, then this could be really useful for you. And it means that you don't have to do something like clearing the whole cache for the domain, which is really bad and detrimental to your cache hit rate. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend getting set up with this as well, because it ensures that your content is getting regularly updated when you update it, and also prevents you from having to clear out the cache for the whole domain, which is not good for site speed. So here is the knowledge base for that one. So yeah, I hope that's helped answer that question. If you need anything clarifying, let me know, because I know that was quite long-winded. Okay, so Procastes asked, I have a question. Why does it take a lot of time to approve ad manager domain review status? Waiting for this last step for a long time. So we understand it's not the quickest process sometimes. It's really frustrating for us too. Like, we obviously want to see all our publishers on the Access Now team get ads showing as soon as possible. It's in your best interest, it's in our best interest. So if we could do something to speed up the process, I promise you that we would be doing it. And that we are our rep for Google is constantly in touch with Google about the review process, trying to optimize it to be quicker and more consistent, and just overall a better experience for publishers. So yeah, the review for your domain can take up to 2 weeks, which we understand is quite a long time. If you think that you've submitted your domain for review and it's surpassed that 2-week mark, then reach out to whoever you talk to via support and get them to just check that the site has definitely been submitted. We can check that on our end. So yeah, I know it can seem like a bit of a drag, but we encourage you to persevere. It'll be worth it in the end once you're approved and showing ads. Like, it will be worth it. And maybe just spend the time doing what you're doing right now, joining in the live streams and trying to learn something new, exploring the dashboard. So I don't know if you were here at the start when I was talking about Flickrfy, but yeah, a really good kind of time to get used to the different tools in the dashboard and how you can really use them to your advantage. Because once you are kind of monetizing and using like the whole kind of dashboard and platform in its fullest, then you can really take advantage of all the different free tools that are at your disposal, such as Leap, Flickrfy, Humix, Niche IQ for SEO. So yeah, I'd advise you just kind of persevere with it, and if you think it's surpassed 2 weeks, then reach out to support. Okay, Daniel, so I have seen your first question. So Daniel's asked, is there a way to change the source name to reflect this in Azoic Analytics? I've noticed that approximately 50% of the traffic on one of my other sites is labeled as unknown in Azoic. By comparing it to Google GA, I think that this unknown traffic is actually from Google. Okay, so not entirely sure. I don't think there's anything we can actually do to go in and edit a source name, but there must be a reason that we are kind of miscategorizing it as unknown if you think that that Google is actually Google search traffic. And I think that's something that we definitely would need to look into, probably by looking into your Google Analytics as well. One thing I will say is we do consider, and we're not just saying this, but we do consider Azoic's BDA to be superior in its accuracy to Google Analytics. And that is just because the way BDA works is it tracks your data at DNS level, which is far more accurate than what Google Analytics does, which depends on kind of like script firing. So Daniel, if you can reach out to us over like the community, or I'm not sure what kind of support outlet you're using at the moment, then we can have a look, and we'll probably need to gain access to your Google Analytics just to see how things are kind of configured there. But yeah, it's definitely worth us looking into that if you think it's being miscategorized as unknown. But yeah, it's not something we can just kind of go in and change. It will have to kind of look into the back end of how it's set up, especially in your Google Analytics, so we can verify that is indeed Google search traffic. So please, can you reach out to support and just see if we can gain access to your Google Analytics and have a look into that. And I'll send you a knowledge base now, which just shows how you can grant, read, and analyze access to your Google Analytics. Because yeah, if you are going to reach out to support, you'll need to include this information. So I'll just put that in the comments for you. So Emmanuel has asked, can you put Azoic ads on your site when you don't have much traffic? And yeah, definitely. So that is the reason that we kind of created and are trying to still kind of develop and build out the Access Now program. So previously to the Access Now program, publishers with smaller websites, their only real access to ad serving was through Google AdSense, whereas now that we have our Access Now program, it means that no matter the size of the site, you can serve ads. So yeah, there's no kind of minimum traffic requirements. So you can have 5 visits a day or whatever, 10 visits a day, 1 visit a day. Then yeah, you are kind of still eligible to apply for the Access Now program. One thing I will say is even though the traffic on the site might be low, as low as the traffic might be, that the traffic coming to the site still has to be high quality in how it engages with the content, and you will still have to have your traffic reviewed. The traffic review might take a little bit longer when you've got lower levels of traffic, just because we kind of need to analyze it over a longer period of time because there's less there. But yeah, no, you will have no issues applying with low levels of traffic as long as that traffic is organic, high quality, and engaging well. And it's also, I think some people kind of refrain from adding their site because they want to build it up first, whereas like what we always advise and say is you can have your newly established site with low visits and watch it grow on the platform as opposed to waiting. Like, I don't really see anything beneficial about waiting. You might as well have the site grow on the platform as opposed to kind of wait until it's built up, then adding it, and then you've just missed this huge chunk of time where our AI and machine learning could have been kind of learning more about the site, even in its early stages. So hi, Al, Mustafa, Umar. So does the amount of time a visitor spent on your blog increase your EPMV? So the level of engagement on the site, yes, it will impact kind of like EPMV, but especially like revenue, because the more time a user spends on your site engaging with your content, just kind of increases the chance of them viewing kind of like the ads and everything and having more page views from a single visit. So that's something, yeah, it's definitely important to ensure that there is some good engagement on the content on the site. Best way to increase engagement is just ensure that you are writing high quality original content and making sure that you're including kind of like relevant images, and that you don't have like necessarily like broken links on the site or anything like that. So yeah, definitely important engagement wise. Okay, so just we're looking at these questions now for Abid Fayaz. I'm just making sure that I think they've come through in the wrong order, so I'm just going to make sure that it makes sense the way that I answer them. Okay, so I'll go with this one. I think this is the right one. So number 2, I'm trying to connect my hosting email to Gmail, but my name server is connected to Azoix. Oh yes, CDN. As per Azoix, you do cache for 28 days. So I can cache every day. Okay, so a few different things in that question there. So if you are having issues with your email, now you're connected to Azoic, you just need to make sure that you've added your MX records into your Azoic DNS settings. So I'm just going, it's usually your MX, so I'm just going to send you this knowledge base. So you just make sure you've added all your MX records from Hostinger to your Azoic DNS settings. Really simple to resolve. I'll just pop you a couple of support articles to help. So yeah, this is for you, Abid Fayaz. These knowledge base articles will help you add your MX records to your Azoic DNS settings, and that should resolve any issues that you're seeing with your emails. And then second part of the question, you're wondering about caching. So something that's quite misunderstood by publishers is they think that clearing out the cache for the whole domain will help increase their cache-in and cache hit rate, but this actually has the opposite effect. So you need to allow your cache to build up. So a cache hit occurs when a user request for your content is fulfilled by the closest edge server rather than the origin. So when you're manually clearing out the cache for the whole domain, that means that your users are having to go to the origin. So that means that is going to contribute to your site having a low cache hit rate. So a cache miss is when the request cannot be fulfilled by the closest edge server. So that means it has to go all the way to the origin. So clearing out your cache for the whole domain is something that you should only do if it's absolutely necessary. So if you're kind of troubleshooting something very technical and you are not seeing the changes or whatever, and you need to clear out that cache to ensure that no other user kind of is impacted by whatever error or issue you were seeing on your site, that would be a good reason to clear out your cache. However, if it's just because you're updating content or something, you need to refrain from doing this, because you need to allow your cache to build up, and that will help contribute to you having a good cache hit rate. I've just popped in a knowledge base into the comment section, which kind of goes through how to improve your cache hit rate, because there are other ways other things you can do to help protect your cache as well. I hope that answers that question. I hope I understood that right. Okay, so second part of the cache question. So that also includes for cache for mobile, everyday cache, so we advise that you do not use any kind of external caching in terms of plugins, caching at your host. It can conflict and cause issues with Azoix caching, and it's just not entirely necessary. So I just advise you stick with Azoix caching so that you kind of know you're covered there and you're not going to have anything conflicting. Okay, so welcome, high frequency truck dispatch. Hi, I have a question. I have recently signed up with Azoic, but I have noticed that my revenue is decreasing daily. Is there an explanation why that is? There could be numerous explanations, so quite a broad question. If you want to put your domain in the comments, I can have a quick look for you and just see if there's anything that's immediately obviously that jumps out. one thing that I would check is your revenue decreasing but your traffic staying consistent? So have you seen less revenue even though you're seeing the similar amounts of traffic? I'd definitely have a look at big data analytics and just kind of review kind of your metrics traffic and revenue wise. So I'd check, has anything changed in relation to your traffic source or the area of the traffic, where your traffic's coming from? Has your EPMV dropped, or is it just your revenue? So a few different things that you can kind of look into there. And I definitely think using Izoic's big data analytics is a good place to start, because it can help you kind of cross-analyze whether this is just related just to revenue, or is it traffic decreasing as well? Are you still regularly posting content to drive traffic to the site? Has one of your articles kind of stopped ranking as high as it was? So a few different things you can check there. But if you want to send your site, I can have a look in the dashboard and just make sure there's nothing amiss there. So higher BTA, EPMV. So that's our the metric that we use, and I did put a knowledge base in that just, I might not have included this actually, sorry. But yeah, I can pop it in here. So this knowledge base kind of goes through what EPMV is. I did explain it earlier in the live, so I won't go through it in detail again. But yeah, you can just reference that knowledge base, which kind of outlines what it is, why we use it, how it's calculated. And then we've also got this really helpful knowledge base, which is best practices for higher earnings, higher EPMV and earnings. So I'll pop that there as well. So you've got both. Okay, so Eldis Polo asked, what are the requirements and process if I want to place ads on my subdomain? So I did go through this previously. I'm not sure if you were here then, but just quickly. So please send the subdomain across to whatever support platform that you use. So I don't know if you're in the community or whatnot, but please send the subdomain across to the team. We can review it. And then I popped a knowledge base in the comments section a bit further up that goes through how to add the subdomain. So you just need to add it to your Zoic DNS settings. The DNS records just need to go in there, and then it should run through a Zoic's proxy and then be able to serve ads. But yeah, I did pop a knowledge base further up in the comments that just goes through how to add the subdomain to your Zoic DNS settings. So I'm just going to have a look through some of these questions now. And I'll be here for another like 10, 15 minutes or so. So please do pop any final questions in. I'm just going to make sure I've not missed anything. So Al-Mustafa Umar's asked, does Zoic support local bank accounts for payments? So you can find all of our payment options here. I can't really say because it completely depends on where you are based. And we're not really in a place where we can offer kind of payments advice or what the best option is for you. It's kind of your responsibility to determine that. But you can use this knowledge base here that I've just sent in, because it goes through all our different payment options. So probably referencing mainly bank transfer with Wise, which this method, you just need to add your bank account details and the payment will be transferred directly through Wise. But you are then subject to some currency conversion fees. So look through these different options and just kind of work out which might be the best one for you. And then we have our currency conversion fees for Payoneer there. But yeah, it's not actually listed for the bank transfer with Wise, just because this is a variable rate. So yeah, you can just use that knowledge base to kind of see which one is best for you. Oh, Daniel, I know caching can be really frustrating and can seem really complicated and silly, but the caching section of the Azoic dashboard is actually really, really helpful. There's some tools there that you can help identify if any of your URLs are missing our caching, and then it will kind of tell you the best action to take on how to get your URLs hitting the cache and stuff. So yeah, I definitely encourage you to familiarize yourself with our caching tools in the dashboard, which can be found in the Leap section of the dashboard as well. So Leap, and then left hand side we've got our caching bit, and there's some really useful tools there that can help. So Emmanuel, do I need a cache plugin when you use Azoic Leap? So no, you do not need to have any caching plugins enabled. We kind of advise against using any caching plugins external to Azoic anyway, just because it can cause issues. And if you are kind of already not using any, there's no point adding them in when you're already using Azoic's caching anyway. So yeah, you can just use Azoic's cache. And like I was just saying to Daniel, our cache section of the Azoic dashboard in Leap is really, really handy, and I'd encourage you to kind of familiarize yourself with that. So Procrastes asks, you're using there's Lightspeed plugin along with Cloudflare. So it's not that you absolutely have to disable it. It's just that you can run into different issues with using Lightspeed. So if you are happy to disable Lightspeed, then I definitely advise that you do disable it, because it can impact ads showing. It can impact our tracking, so that can indirectly impact revenue being shown in big data analytics. And then for Cloudflare, you just need to make sure that your Cloudflare cache settings are set to standard. So if you're using Cloudflare, integrated via Cloudflare, head over there to caching and just make sure that your cache settings set to standard. Okay, so final few questions. So we've had a couple questions about AdSense, CPC, and EPMV. So just want to say that they are completely two different metrics, so they don't impact one another. Sorry, I'll just put the question on. So this was asked earlier by Wordsmith Kim, but I don't know if this is the same person, but Military Powers asked it as well. Does AdSense CPC affect EPMV? So they don't indirectly kind of affect each other. They're like two different metrics. So when you're using Azoic ads, you just need to focus on EPMV, because that is kind of what we use to determine like revenue. So yeah, you will not be showing AdSense ads alongside Azoic ads on Azoic versions of the site. You'll just be having Azoic ads. So then you just need to focus on EPMV. Okay, so just scrolling back up, because I think there's been a couple of questions that I've missed. So Lighting Players asks, can you check my domain Xbox.date? Why earnings not showing? So yeah, I can have a look. So just why earnings aren't showing, let's have a quick look. So the first thing I'm going to check is just that your Google has been approved for your domain, has been approved for MCM, which it has. And then I'm just going to make sure that ads are actually showing, because if you're not seeing revenue, the first thing you should do is check that ads are actually showing, which they are. So that's great. Then let's head to the dashboard and just see if you've got any. Okay, so that looks fine. And then let's see, so I can just have a quick look and see when ads started showing on this website to see if we're getting ad impressions through. Okay, so it looks like we're not really seeing any ad impressions coming through to the site. And I think this is just to do with the low level of traffic that you're getting. So right now on your site, you're only seeing 1 or 2 visits a day. Now, this probably isn't enough to determine any revenue right now, and that 1 or 2 visit that we are seeing is actually only engaging with the content for 3 seconds or less. So I'd say that is mainly why you're not seeing revenue right now, due to the level and quality of your traffic. So what I really do advise you do is continue writing content for the site. So the best way you can kind of improve the site, like traffic and like SEO wise, is by writing high quality original content. So yeah, I advise that you kind of look at that and just continue to kind of publish new articles and try and drive that organic Google search traffic to your site, because organic Google traffic is how you're going to get higher EPMV and better quality traffic on the site, and then you can start seeing some actual like revenue and earnings. And also what I was saying earlier about maybe looking into using Flickify and Qmix, so our new video tools, so that could kind of help with the engagement levels on the site. So we know that some users do prefer kind of their content to be in video format. So why don't you look at using Flickify and converting some of your higher landing pages into video format? And that might really help with the levels of engagement that you're seeing on the site as well. So I did drop some knowledge-based articles about using Flickify and Qmix further up in the comment section. So have a look into that and just see if there's anything that you can do there. Okay, so final few questions, and then I'm going to wrap this up, but let's have a look. Okay, so good question from Abid Fayaz. Is there any way I could know from my end if my site is Ezoic ads or Google AdSense are working together? So I know I kind of went through this before, but yeah, on Ezoic versions of your website, you will not be able to show Ezoic ads and AdSense ads simultaneously. You will only see Ezoic ads. If you have AdSense auto ads enabled on the site, then Ezoic will automatically wrap these ads and include them in testing. So that's good. It's good to keep your AdSense auto ads turned on. If you are seeing any unwrapped AdSense ads on the site, then you need to wrap these as soon as possible, because it is against kind of like Google policy to have unwrapped ads on the site. And it's super easy to do. Here's a knowledge base for support should you need it. Oh, wait, oh no, that's fine. That's right. So yeah, that's a knowledge base. Just goes through how to wrap your ads. So if you've got sounds like you'll be okay because you've got auto ads enabled with AdSense, but you won't be able to show them at the same time. The best thing to do is, if you are using Google AdSense, is enable AdSense mediation. So if you have Google AdSense mediation linked, that will allow for Ezoic ad partners and AdSense ad partners to bid for inventory on the site, and then the ad inventory goes to the highest bidder. And then you will see that mediation earnings. So yeah, that's probably the best thing you can do there. So Emmanuel's asked, what is your take on AI content? I think as a whole, the Ezoic stance would be to against AI content. I think AI content, there's always that risk that it's not going to be completely compliant. We do deny sites when we can see that it's kind of like low quality AI content. So yeah, it's not something that we do kind of promote doing AI content. There's always the risk that it could be kind of scraped or not make sense, or if it's kind of something that's been put together, it doesn't exactly make like a cohesive like read, then you'll be denied for content not compliant. So best to just kind of avoid it, to be honest, and just work on kind of writing high quality original content yourself. And if you are kind of in the newer stages of your website, you don't want to kind of shoot yourself in the foot too soon by getting denied for something like AI content. Definitely worth just kind of spending the time creating the content yourself. There's more chance of you ranking higher, earning more, and kind of protecting yourself from kind of any denial. So yeah, against it would be our take. Okay, so final two questions here, then just going to wrap this up, unless anything else comes through. It doesn't look like there's much come through at the end, so we'll just go through these and then start to wrap it up. If you've just joined kind of later in this live, then it will be posted to Facebook and YouTube, so feel free to just kind of head back to the start and watch it from the start if there's something that you want to learn more about. And we've gone through a few different things, but yeah, going to wrap it up pretty soon. Okay, so Navandita has asked, changing optimization goal to UX focus will decline the earning. Possibly, it does not guaranteed. So I don't know what you have it set as right now, but I think it does default to balance. If you are kind of, obviously, it sounds like you are quite keen to kind of protect your earnings and your revenue. So I'd probably advise that you just keep it revenue focused if that's what you've got it set to. But yeah, you shouldn't see too big of an impact to it, to be honest. So Joe has asked, you'll see earnings from both places on your dashboard too if mediation is working. Yeah, you will. That's right. So on your dashboard homepage in particular, where you just see your revenue overview, you'll be able to see underneath mediation. And if AdSense win the bid, you will see the mediation earnings kind of tracked there, and then that revenue will go to your AdSense account. So any AdSense mediation earnings don't get added to your Ezoic account; they'll get added to your AdSense account. But then any Ezoic mediation earnings will just get added to your Ezoic account. So, any more questions from anyone? Probably going to wrap this up. Now, if anyone's got anything final that you want to ask, happy to kind of go for anything. But yeah, going to wrap this up now. Okay, I can't see anything else coming through. So I'm just going to end the live stream there. But yeah, thank you so much to everyone for joining. Hope you found it valuable. Daniel, when is the next stream? Good question. I'm not sure. I think I can have a look if there's one in the thingy. But Charlie, so I'm sure if you're a regular attender of live streams, Charlie has been doing them much more regularly throughout the week. So keep your eyes peeled on YouTube and Facebook. He's also done them on Twitter, I think. So I imagine there will be one this week at some point, but I can't see anything actually scheduled right now. What day is it? The 18th. Not sure, Daniel, sorry. But yeah, I guarantee there'll be another one this week. Because yeah, chat's what Charlie's been spending a lot of time doing, kind of delivering these live streams because we know you find them valuable. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure there'll be another one going on this week. But hope you found that valuable. And yeah, I'll catch you all later. Have a good rest of your day.